Hello everyone, how are we doing? It is Tuesday evening here in the UK and we have 8.1 has dropped today. If you haven't got it yet, check out your App Store, Play Store, whatever. Go and get it. 8.1 is out and we have the balance changes. Some good, some not so good. But let's go through them. So, common units, Rogue. I mean, it's about time. Rogue has always had a lot of potential. The attack speed and everything like that, really good. I've tried it numerous times with Hex. Hasn't really worked out, so it needed a buff. So, probably worth a go. Rogue, Rogue Hex, Rogue Knight Statue, Rogue Banner, something like that. Really get some good attack speed going. That would be really, really cool if we could see some Rogue in the meta. Yeah, happy with that one. Sentry. Now, Sentry has got an absolutely huge buff in multiple areas. Now, Sentry is a unit that I didn't think was actually that weak. It's actually pretty good, but now it's really, really good. So the initial damage has increased from 90 to 115. The damage increase per level has gone up by 1%. The mana power-up now increases the damage more efficiently from 56 to 60. And the initial interval for damage increase activation is now lower from 6 to 5 seconds. So you know when it gets that animation, when it really starts going to town. Dudes! Sentry is going to be one to try. Definitely. That was a really good card anyway, I thought. But this could be quite a substantial boost. I'd be really quite interested to see what's going to happen now with Sentry. Really, really cool. Definitely going to try that one out in some games. Gargoyle, we thought this was coming, although I don't think they've done enough, really, with Gargoyle. I mean, the area attack from 137 to 175, that's a big jump. But with the amount of work that you need to put in to get decent gargoyles on the board and the amount of board space that they take up, I thought they might have done more to buff that. Or maybe changed the mechanics, tweaked it slightly or something like that. But I don't think that's going to be enough to get Gargoyle a place in the meta. I know a lot of people were playing around with it when it first came out, but I've never been a fan of it, basically because of the amount of effort it takes up with very little reward. I mean, in terms of mechanics, it's very similar to Cultist in the way that it works, having surrounding units and things like that. But for me, there was too many chances of having dead units on the board when they were odd or even. I can't remember which one it is, but odd and even merge levels, not a fan. I think the demonic dog is going to stay out of the meta for now. Wind Archer, yeah, a decent card. It's all right. Nice little damage increase. That'll help you out. Engineer, now this one that I was dreading a little bit. Initial damage increase is tiny, so only 1 extra. But damage increase per level is now stronger, 9.2% up to 12. Now that 3% boost is probably going to see Engineer start creeping back into the meta. I can definitely see some Engineer decks will start appearing. I mean, it was popular for a long, long time. But even with this little buff, I can see a lot of people, even if it's not as effective as it sounds, a lot of people will be trying it out. So that's definitely going to be one to look out for. I think so far, Sentry and Engineer are probably the two that have had the most substantial buffs and the ones that you'll probably see starting to appear on the ladder because people will be trying them. But I think Engineer is going to come back in. Whether or not it's as strong as it sounds, don't know. But I can definitely see that that one will creep back in. So those are the common, rare and epic ones. Now the ones that I found really, really interesting, I know it's because they most likely apply to me, but this will affect everyone on the ladder. So Stasis, we've all been saying it for a long, long time. It was nerfed before, and now it's going to be nerfed again. So the cooldown between traps is now a second longer. So they're basically trying to work towards, you can't completely stop the board and just have a boss in like the same place where you can smash it for 10 million damage without any risk of it ever getting to your gate from the portal. So they're working towards that. Whether or not this will achieve it, it doesn't seem like it's a mega nerf, but it's definitely going to have an effect. We might see people moving away from Stasis, moving to Bombardier, moving back to Cold Mage, or even using Frost if they're low on board space. But I can definitely see Stasis, the popularity might go down a little bit. I'll definitely try it and still play it for a little while, just to see whether or not it really does make a difference. It might mean you maybe need 1 or 2 more on the board, which I don't think is mad. Like, before you would need 2 or 3. If you had 5 or 6, you would completely lock the wave. But yeah, I think now if you have 4, I still think it's going to be pretty effective. So I don't think that's an insane nerf, but it might be enough to see it drop out in favour of Bombardier and Cold Mage and Frost. Another one which is going to have, I think, quite a big impact in the meta, Demonologist. Now, we've known for a long, long time, Inquisitor, Stasis, Demonologist has been, I've played it a lot, but I still want to call it a plague to the ladder. The health multiplier, so it's down from 1.1 to 0.7. So basically a 40% decrease in the health. I think that's going to be big. And I think it's going to reduce the win condition of, say, for example, you've got Gorgon or Bedlam or something like that, and your board's getting flipped or absolutely nuked by Warlock, and then the other player just spams you with Demonologist mobs. I think unless it's Gorgon and your board is like completely dead and inactive, I don't think that win condition is going to be as strong. I think if the boss makes it to the gate before the mobs, I think you'll probably be able to take them out so you don't take that extra heart. The only problem is, still, Demonologist mobs move faster than the bosses. So the chances of them overtaking and hitting your gate before the boss might still make that viable on the ladder. So that'll be interesting, especially as Stasis and Demonologist have both taken a hit. Maybe the combination of the two will definitely see the Ink Stasis Demonologist combination weakened a little bit. So that'll be quite interesting. Now, the one that really did amaze me the most, now I know a lot of people have been calling for this, and I know that I said on my video earlier that I got rid of all of my excess Clock of Power cards. What did I say? Be careful, because you never know what's going to be buffed. Feast your eyes on this. Initial passive slow is now more efficient, basically doubled from 2 to 4%. So a 4% attack speed reduction at all times, as long as you have a Clock of Power on the board. At all times. Now that 4% is huge. That's going to make a massive difference. And then you've also got the initial slow after merging. So you've got that passive slow, which is always there. And then when you merge your clocks, there is I think it's a few seconds, I can't remember exactly how many it is, where it will slow the attack speed even further. And that's gone up from 25%, 30% attack speed reduction. 30% is insane. Now you go back to what we saw with Robot last week, the Technogenic faction. That was given a 15% attack speed buff by the faction blessing last week. That's doubled in the opposite direction. So you're going to be slowed by 30%. That is huge. That really is huge. 8.1, I think, is going to see a lot of Clock of Power. If you've got it, try it. That's going to be really, really good. So as a support unit, maybe you have your main DPS, whether that be Boreas, Inquisitor, Thunderer, Engineer, maybe even now. Sentry could be something like that, even if you want to go down the Corsair and the Executioner route. So those are your two your one or two main cards for your damage, but then have that supported by like a slow and clock. So if you were to run maybe Inquisitor or Boreas, and then maybe a Cold Mage or a Stasis or a Frost or Bombardier, and then have Clock of Power as your third one, and then maybe top it up with Harlequin and Summoner or Harlequin and Dryads, that's going to be insane. Because if you've got Harlequin, even Harlequin and Mine, there are some interesting decks. I've got one in mind, which I'm going to make a video on. I'm not going to say it now because I think it might actually be really, really good. Yeah, okay, well, Clock of Power, try it out. Definitely try it out. That is going to be interesting to see. And then the last one. Hex. Where I got my name from. Hex. Instant kill chance down from 75 to 50%. With each merge, less. Instant kill chance now grows less when you level up with mana. Halved. Instant kill chance from leveling now grows faster. 0.2 to 0.45. Okay. But Hex. I love those little purple skulls. They just float away from the bodies. Man. Moment of silence for Hex. Might have to call myself Clock Assist. Wow. There we go. Interesting changes indeed. So to recap, I think Rogue, okay, Sentry is a big buff. Try Sentry. Gargoyle, not fussed. Wind Archer, not really that fussed. Engineer, that could be interesting. I think we might see that more on the meta. Stasis, meh. We might see other slow and stun come in instead. Might get a little less popular, but I can't see it getting completely replaced. You'll still meet it a lot on the ladder. Demonologist, I think you'll still see it because of the mana. You'll still see it because of the mana that it generates, I think. It's a good utility card for when you need to spam, when you need to get up the tiers and maybe summon higher level units. I think we'll still see that. Clock of Power, I think, is the biggest one for me. I think a lot of people who have got Clock of Power will be trying it. I might have a secret deck for that I'm thinking of. And then Hex, well, I'm just distraught about Hex. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. But there you go. That is a rundown of 8.1. It's in the Play Store and the App Store right now. So go out and update and definitely have a play with some of these changes. Sentry, Engineer, Clock of Power. Try them out. This is your boy Hexassist signing off. I will see you on the ladder. Take care.